Good morning. With the indices in the narrow range, the patience of the market participants is being tested. The opening today is expected to be flat to lower. Some turnaround could well take place even as the overall trend remains negative. Any up move will meet resistance at the 5,650 levels. On the political front, Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi dominated the proceedings with his twin speeches, wooing the middle class, charming the Ficky Ladies organization and promising superiority in everything he does. So much so that the finance minister's meeting with industry leaders and bankers took a backseat. The FM says the government has identified 215 projects which are stalled and another 126 projects which are new projects to which the banks have sanctioned loans but which have not taken off. The Asian Development Bank says developing Asia's growth recovery faces the risk of asset bubbles from rising capital inflows. GDP will increase 6.6% in 2013 and 6.7% in the next year, the ADB stated in its Asian Development Outlook 2013 released today. Bharti Airtel and Idea could remain in focus after Supreme Court allowed them to offer 3G services outside their licensed zones. The rupee meanwhile gained 25 paise on Monday to close at 54.56 against the dollar. Globally, results season kicked off with Alcoa net income coming in at $149 million compared with $94 million a year earlier. Revenue fell below expectations to $5.83 billion from $6.01 billion a year earlier. Asian stocks are up. Nikkei is near multi-year highs gaining 0.6%. South Korea's Kospi is marginally lower while New Zealand's NZX 50 index has gained 0.2%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index rose 1% while China's Shanghai Composite index was up 0.5%. US markets recovered with Dow Jones adding 0.3% while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq gaining 0.6%. Chinese inflation slowed sharply in March. Consumer prices rose below expectations at 2.1% year-on-year in March. Food price inflation fell to 2.7% in March as against 6% year-on-year in February. European markets ended slightly higher, though a sell-off was seen in the Portuguese stocks. Tension remains as far as Korea is concerned. Aditya Birla Nuvo has decided to sell off its carbon black business to a group company SKI Carbon Black for Rs 14.51 billion as a part of its plan to exit the business in the near future. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited announced that its net profit for the last financial year dipped 8%, declining for the first time in 11 years. However, it does not anticipate drastic problems as government orders continue to account for the bulk of its business. JSW Steel reported that its crude steel production was up 2% in the March quarter at 2.11 million tons against 2.07 million tons. Bharti Airtel got a breather on offering 3G services with the Supreme Court ordering a status quo on the issue. The Apex Court has told the Department of Telecom not to take coercive action till the next hearing on April 11. Shriram Transport Finance plans to raise Rs 250 billion debt to this fiscal, including Rs 10 billion to non-convertible debentures this quarter to meet its lending and redemption requirements. TVS Motor Company's market share has slipped over 2.5% to 15.46% since first year 2008 and it has lost the number 3 position to Honda Motorcycle and Scooters India. With fees earned from facilitating tax collections doubling, IDBI Bank plans to step up its focus on government business. In fiscal 2012-2013, the public sector bank earned Rs 600 million fee income from government business, which includes facilitating collection of direct and indirect taxes, state sales taxes, and treasury business. India has called for a binding treaty to protect traditional knowledge at the World Intellectual Property Organization so that the action can be taken by countries against infringement of such rights by trends in the FII flows. The FIIs were net sellers or Rs 1.63 billion in the cash segment on Monday, while the domestic institutional investors were net buyers or Rs 2.12 billion as per the provisional figures released by the NSE. The foreign funds were net sellers or Rs 8.76 billion in the cash segment on Friday, according to the figures released by SEBI. Our recommendations, the technical calls for the day. We recommend buying HPCL above Rs 290 for a target price of Rs 300 with stop loss placed at Rs 285. The derivative strategies. Long ACC April futures above Rs 1130 for the target price of Rs 1170 with stop loss placed at Rs 1110. Thank you. Wish you have a good day ahead.